and so much more, is that a lot of this has to do with brain development. And there's a lot of things that are missed. All right. There's a pyramid to how the brain develops. And so if you think of it as like three different stages, okay, there's the reptilian part of our brain. That's the oldest part of our brain. And that's known for our survival mechanisms. Okay. This is where it's instincts, it's reactions, it's what keeps you alive. All right. Very, very important. The middle part of our brain is that primate mammalian part of our brain, our memory, our language, our connection, so forth. That's where that part of our brain comes into. And then they have the higher level, which is the cortex, is the highest part. That's the highest level. That's our different types of critical thinking, future planning. There's all these different things that come into that element. There's more to this than just that. I'm trying to keep it simple, but that's where, these different layers of it. Now, the way the brain develops as a kid, when we first are born, our brain develops from the bottom up, from the back forward. Right. Now, this is critical to know. I have if you're a parent and you want to really understand this concept really in depth, I have a 4-part video series that I'll put in the show notes for you that dives into this brain development, the certain neurological laws, and then what's the root cause of what we're seeing in kids' health, and what can we do to change that. In this podcast, I want to talk about one of the things that I do that really starts to look at this and is almost the premise of it all. It's not the beginning, and I'll get into what that is and why that is, but it's the premise, almost the premise to everything. And I saw this later in my career. I mean, I'll be honest, I'm going to be very transparent here. There was a point in my career where I was like, why are certain kiddos, and maybe this is OCD. I used to be an ADHD kid, so this may be where it comes from, but I was like, man, I want to, I was seeing some kiddos that I use this specialized space certified technology that will look at the kid's nervous system and so forth. And I would get so frustrated that some of them, just some, it was a very small percentage too. It wasn't like a lot. Maybe it was less than 10%. I couldn't get their nervous system to change. They would change. Well, let me take that back. It would change,